Hi, my name is Lilly Smith, and my chapel talk is entitled The Value of Ghost Stories. Unfortunately, death is an event that will affect every single person on the planet. When a death occurs, those connected to the deceased can find themselves feeling lost and without closure. Dealing with death can be mentally and emotionally taxing. The belief in an afterlife and ghosts can provide individuals with an explanation for life after death and provide closure. Though stories of ghosts and the paranormal can seem frivolous and unbelievable to some, they can be valuable and important to others, providing explanation for life after death and an escape from the grief. The effect that death and grief can have on the minds of humans can be significant. The intense mental and emotional stress can cause people to experience things that are out of the ordinary. Professor of psychology Frank McAndrew comments on the effect that grief can have on one's mental state, quote, "Grieving individuals who have lost a loved one on whom they had depended greatly may shut themselves off from social contact with others and rarely leave their homes. The loneliness and isolation, coupled with high levels of stress and unchanging sensory stimulation, might very well produce the same biological conditions that could trigger a, quote, visit from the recently departed." Studies indicate that almost half of widowed elderly Americans experience a hallucination of the departed spouse, and such after-death communications appear to be a healthy coping mechanism and a normal part of the bereavement process, end quote. The emotional vulnerability of those who have experienced the mental trauma of death can account for susceptibility to seeing things that they would not normally see. Having such experiences could help people through the grieving process and help them to accept and move on from a death. The belief in an afterlife and the fear of ghostly spirits coming back to haunt them can act as a moral compass. The possibility of being visited by unrestful spirits can motivate people to do right by the deceased. Even famed philosopher Confucius believed that ghost stories and encounters with the paranormal could instill good virtues into the living and teach them valuable lessons. All humans crave the ability to go back and fix past mistakes. A way to do that for some is in another life. Talk Thompson, professor of anthropology at the University of Southern California, says of ghost stories, quote, "If there wasn't value in them, people wouldn't keep telling them. Frankly, I think that ghost stories deal with a lot of issues, not just whether or not one believes in ghosts, but also questions of the past that haunt us, perhaps past injustices that haven't been taken care of," end quote. When something is confusing or unexplainable, humans naturally seek the answers, even creating stories or tales to justify and explain those curiosities, ghost stories included. Some can be too quick to dismiss the ideas and beliefs of others, but having an open mind and simply hearing out the reasons for a different belief can be mind-opening. The impact that the idea of ghosts and the paranormal have had on ancient and modern civilizations alike, religion, and pop culture cannot be discounted. Though some consider it foolish and unbelievable, a belief in ghosts and ghost stories has been a valuable way for people to cope with losses and explain the unknown of the afterlife for centuries. Thank you.